year. And one thing that a lot of people get confused about when you're going to buy appliances, you see that little Energy Star rating on a washer or dryer or refrigerator. Those are not a deductible item under the current laws.
Oh, okay.
The salesman may be, misinformed or confused, and may misinform someone that you'll get a tax deduction, with this purchase, and you won't on the return.
I know we actually bought an appliance, I guess it was 2 years or so ago, and there was a tax deduction on that. So what
Hot water heaters or, things that, attach to real property is where you get the deduction.
Okay. You also said non-cash charitable contributions. Would that include things like furniture?
Yes, we usually send out a letter to our clients, in December, sometime, towards the end of the year. This is the time to go through your closet, all the clothes, your children's toys, anything that's no longer useful. It's a good time to clean out the house. You can take those to your local charity, and you can actually, if you can itemize, you can get a tax deduction for those donations. And you, as the giver, determine, the value of those within reason, for your charitable deduction.
One of the things we've done this year, we actually put a link on our website to a online program that you just create a username and password. You go through and select the item that you're donating. Say you're donating a washer and dryer. It'll bring up washer and dryers, and it'll talk about the stackable unit or the side-by-side. It'll give you good, fair, or poor condition, and it will assign a value for you. When you're done with it, you can print out your list, and it'll actually give you your total deductible amount. But again, you need to be able to itemize to get maximum benefit for that.
and there's Habitat for Humanity Restore in Chattanooga, and
Good
you
places.
can take your furniture, your appliances, even, fireplaces, building materials and that sort of thing there.
Well, what we experienced here, in with the tornadoes in April, there were folks who were going to their closets and pulling out things and taking those and donating them.
So that would count. Okay.
As long as you need to get a donation receipt from wherever you're going to donate it. Goodwill, the Ark here in Fort Oglethorpe, places like that will give you a donation letter, and then you'll have to put on there what the value is.
So you can actually itemize the clothing that you donate to as well.
Now, you recommend e-filing? Is that right?
Yes. The reason for e-filing, it goes electronically to the IRS, and if
No
you're
postmark.
no postage, it doesn't get lost in the mail, and you'll get a confirmation back from the IRS that they've actually received your return, which is, if you can imagine how many returns the IRS processes each year, some things do get lost in the mail. And you may not know that until September when they say, "Oh, by the way,
We never got
we haven't got your return, and you're going to owe us,
Oh,
a penalty
goodness.
for not filing it, timely."
I would imagine it would speed up your return as
Yes.
well.
Right now, if you're e-filing, you're about a 7 to 10 day window to getting your refund back
Oh, wow.
from the IRS.
Is there an extra charge?
We don't charge for e-filing. Some preparers do, but we don't. That's part of our tax software package, so we don't pass any cost on to the taxpayer.
It's good to know. Now, okay, tax credits, when you get your refund back, we've talked a little bit about savings, but 9 times out of 10, I even heard someone at work the other day talking about what they were planning to do with their taxes when they got it back. It's almost counting your chickens before they hatch. How do you advise people on the best way to, I guess, make the most out of their return?
Well, let me make this abundantly clear. Really and truly, you shouldn't get any money back, and you shouldn't owe any money. If you're managing your tax bracket correctly and you're managing your W-4 correctly, you want to go home throughout the year with the most amount of money you can. But there are people, again, who aren't disciplined to be able to save all year, so that is their vacation fund, or that's their, I'm going to get the car fixed or tires for the car. You're not earning any interest on that money while the IRS holds it all year long. And there's going to be situations where you may have it down to a science, and then you have a child, or you adopt a child, or you have a change in marital status. I know the year that I got married, both of us had filed single all year long. So when we filed our return, we filed as married. So we had paid in all this extra tax that we got back. So, I know people who actually just take it, that is their savings. Whatever they get back, they put into a savings account and they don't touch it. If you're going to do that,
actually-
pay off debt.
And we actually have a caller. Caller, go ahead. Are you there? Hello? Well, we might have lost him. Call us back.
I was going to add that, a lot of taxpayers get the earned income credit back. And when you see all the commercials on TV, it's like a Mardi Gras, everybody's happy. But you have to realize that only 48% of the people in the United taxpayers that are paying taxes. The other half are either living on their savings or they're living on government subsistence.
So
Yeah.
over
So
over
my
50%
client-
of people don't pay taxes?
Yeah, my clients aren't celebrating at tax time because they're paying taxes.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a stark contrast.
Well, you hear people talk about the 1%.
Yes.
So really, when you think about it, you've got 48% paying tax, and the others aren't. So, and everybody, we get the question a lot about earned income credit, and there's certain criteria you've got to meet in order to be able to get it. Most people think, oh, well, if I have a child and I'm single, I can get earned income credit, and that's not necessarily the case.
Can you talk about educator credit?
Yeah, if you're a teacher up through high school, 12th grade, there's a $250 credit that you can take on your tax return for incidental supplies that you may, pay out for your classroom. If you're able to itemize and you're spending more than that, then it can be an itemized deduction on your return.
That's good to know, because I have seen several teachers on my Facebook feed who are talking about buying supplies for their classroom. They go out, and buy the supplies that maybe the school formally could provide, and now it's coming out of their own pocket. So.
And if you have a favorite teacher, that's another area that you could donate supplies to and get a tax deduction. If your child's in that classroom, it'd be a good way to, do a charitable contribution.
Very good to know.
So we talked a little bit before. We have Jonna, who's advertising with us this month, and she's an insurance agent, and you recommend that people shop insurance this time of year.
I recommend that each year, you need to just look around and see, because insurance companies change their criteria. Example, when the hurricane will hit in Florida, you'll see and if certain companies have a lot of people insured, you'll see that rate change. So we recommend that you do that. Make sure that you've got, we were talking earlier about the budget, about life insurance. Shop that as well. You need it. The end. You don't want to leave, even if you're single, and you own a home, or even if you don't want to leave people with expenses when you leave. And a lot of people don't think about that. I think that's one of the things in a budget most people overlook, is taking care of those that are left behind. So
Now let's talk a little bit about budgeting for eating out and entertainment. I know we touched on it briefly earlier, but you had mentioned once before, I think at your class, Groupons are a good way.
living social.
Talk about that.
John and I have date nights every month, and that is one way we've been able to do more as far as date night goes than we normally would, because we only put so much money in our budget. Well, if I can get 2 dinners for the price of what I would normally pay for one, then I got 2 dates for the price of one. So same thing with movie tickets, massages. If you're giving birthday gifts, that's an unlimited sort of field out there now of people offering that. And with Facebook, I saw somebody post last night that Southwest was giving away free airline tickets, and I'm like, okay, is that a hoax, or are they really doing that? So just those just find out what's out there. I know our high schools sell discount cards at the beginning of the school year that usually run until the end of school for discounts on movies
Sonic
and
and,
Sonic
yeah.
and different restaurants here in town. And you guys know how I feel about supporting local business. So anything you can do that promotes that, you know, and Groupon and Living Social give you things that are in our area.
It's very good.
It is.
Good to keep in mind, and even vacations. I noticed they're offering getaways too.
We have a set of friends that actually did one of the Groupons for Gatlinburg and said that they wouldn't do it any other way again, that they were so impressed with the deal that they got.
Wow.
Now, is February the 15th on a weekend this year? Or is
April.
it?
April 15th.
I'm sorry. That's what I meant. I don't know why I said February. I'm going to freak everybody out there. It's still April.
It is on Sunday. However, normally it falls to the next business day, which would be the 16th, but because the District of Columbia has a holiday, it's now to the 17th of April is when your returns are going to be due.
Just curious, what's the holiday on the 16th?
It's something with the District of Columbia, and
Just
all of
a
our
local.
congressmen live there, so
So they make the decisions, I guess.
Yeah,
Yes, we'll have to
Google it.
Google
Wonder
that.
if they just created a holiday for themselves.
Save everybody an extra day. We'll talk about your work environment leading up to April 15th. I know it's got to get a little hectic.
Oh,
well, we've already started.
Yes.
We actually started about a month ago, getting ready, organizers, you know, getting our tax programs installed, folders, and loading up on supplies. And as we start moving into next week, you know, at the 1st of February, to start, you know, building, and then we'll be working, you know, 7 days a week until the tax season's over.
And tell everyone where you're located. And you said you had a link on your website, so give them that too.
sure. Our website is www.sdraccounting.com. We didn't put the whole Cheryl, Dickert, and Rutherford. We tried to be nice. And we're located at 4513 Hickson Pike, and we're in Suite 105.
Okay. Hello, caller. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm enjoying the show this evening and just wanted to ask a question. We are no longer filing the loan form because we actually our children are grown and we don't have enough deductibles I don't think anymore. But what is the amount of deductibles that are required or allowed before a loan form can be filled out? That's one of my questions. And the other one is, can a couple who have filed joint save by filing married filing separate? And I'm going to hang up and listen to that and enjoy the program this evening. Thank you.
Okay, the standard deduction for married filing jointly this year is $11,900. Plus, there's you get 2 personal exemptions of about $7,000. So you're in the $18,000-$19,000 range as far as income you can make, but not have to pay tax on it. The itemizing, you would have to have more than the $11,900 in order to get any more advantage on that. And what was the second question?
If they can save money.
Save money.
Yeah. Most tax programs now, you can just push a button and it will automatically divide the return, and it will tell you whether or not you're getting a